I started messing around with whittling ever since I was a kid. I always carried a knife with me, and we'd go up to the mountains at Portal, and I'd pick up a piece of wood or something and carve something. And Mom always thought it was great. She saved a lot of my carvings, and so I decided I would start in on carving with a yucca pole, and they turned out pretty good, but I couldn't get a lot of action out of the figures. And so I went to aspen wood, and I liked working with aspen. I tried using the stalk from a century plant, but you couldn't find a knife sharp enough to cut it. The wood was real pithy, and you could try to carve on it and it would just push the wood instead of cutting it. And so I went to aspen wood, and that seemed to work a lot better for me. And I've carved a lot of different items, and it's a therapy to me. It just takes your mind away from a lot of stuff, and I've got this one right here. It's a bar scene, and the bartender's there. He just served this one guy right here two jugs of beer, and he was going to take it to the guy at the end of the bar, and his name was Joe. And he turned around, and Joe was gone. And he asked the bartender, "What happened to Joe?" He said, "Well, the wife came in, grabbed him by the ear, and dragged him out, and took him, and he left his boot behind, and the stool fell over and everything." And then, of course, there's the wedding scene that doesn't need a lot of explanation, but we'll call the guy Junior. He never wore shoes before, and he was real hillbilly, and he bought a pair of shoes because he knew Pappy was after him because of the condition his girlfriend was in, and he couldn't outrun Pappy, so Pappy got a shotgun and ran him down, and they had a shotgun wedding. And the little sign up there says, "Thou shalt not covet the neighbor's daughter." And then I've got one, the guy waited too long to do his branding, and that bull got out and tore through the fence and is after the rancher. But then I've got one right here. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's an outhouse, and the wife told her husband that that's all they ever had was an outhouse. And she bought a commode and told him to install it, and she'd be back in about a week, and he'd better have it up. And he put it in the outhouse, and his friend came over, and he said, "You put it out here?" He said, "Well, where does it go?" He said, "It goes in the house." He said, "In the house? Who ever heard of a toilet in the house?" And so anyway, he's in trouble when his wife gets back. And then this Indian here, he's made out of aspen wood. A friend of mine gave me that wood from, and I made that Indian. That guy is about 30 years old. And then the rest of it are all my sketches and pictures and all that kind of stuff.